Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to Lenspire's Lives podcast session. This is a road to something big, a seminar for everyone who actually wants to go into photography, but not, according to what Javi said, not for everyone actually. This is for women who aspire to go into photography. And this is called Lenspire. So if you actually aspire to do amazing stuff in photography, this should be something for you. My name is Daniel Nsa, and I've got two beautiful ladies with me. So we'll be having this conversation about the industry. This is called Hash Short Hash Story as a theme for this particular conversation. And we'll be talking about everything photography. What do you need to know if you want to go into photography? You want to know the industry, the biggest innovators, the biggest people that are doing the most things in the industry. You're going to hear everything here on this session. So I've got with me on my right, I have the lady that was doing amazing stuff during the campaign. If you're on social media, Twitter, formerly known as Twitter, X, formerly known as Twitter to be precise. If you were on that platform, and you followed the Obedient campaign, most of the pictures that came out of that camp was being shot by this lady. Her name is Esther Omo, and she's here with us today. And she's also the lead poet and the lead photographer for everything Pens Drop. There's Pen Drops Poetry.
Yeah, sure.
And there's Pens Drop Photography. Yeah. And also we have the lady that put all of this together. Her name is Havis Daniels, and she's the lead photographer of Havis Gallery. And together we'll be doing all of this, asking all the questions, answering all the questions, and making sure that you're up to trends with everything happening here. So I'm going to start with the lady here by my right, okay? I have a lot of questions for her, but I'm going to try to tone it down a bit. So I'm going to start with you. We saw most of the works you did during the campaign. And you're still getting gigs, you're still doing stuff. I went through your Instagram page and I saw the good works you do out there. And there are ladies like you who are actually coming to the industry and the ones who are actually doing the thing. They're currently doing it. And now what they actually try to understand is how to go about getting gigs and how to position yourself in the industry. And most of the challenges they face has to boil down to people trying to say, okay, this industry is being saturated with men and some of them are actually here. And I just come in, and so it wouldn't be easy for you to just break into the industry. At first, how was it for you before you got in and started doing the things you're doing today?
Okay, so at first, the reason why I even went into the entire photography thing was because I once had a studio anyways.
Yeah.
As a lead poet for Pando's Poetry. And so I decided to get a camera and have a photography studio, basically majorly just to have my poets, take their cover art when it was time for the release of any of their poems and all of that, just like the way you do for music artists. And then so it occurred to me that it's not going to be like every time that we would have that. So how about I commercialize it? So I had a photographer come in, work with me, and then he left. But then by this time, he worked with me for almost a year. And then the brand Pando's Photography was building momentum and all of that. So for me to just let it die like that was not wise.
Yeah.
So I think that's actually what inspired me to also go learn by myself to, start photography in the first place. Right. So starting out wasn't easy, but I feel like one of the things that really helped me was, first of all, the person I started with, and that was what's his name? Mon ami Judson.
Yeah.
Mon ami.
Yeah.
And he's one of the photographers I respect here. He's a guy anyway, so it's not like there were no female photographers for me to go to. But when it comes to the kind of photography I wanted to do, because sorry, I'm not like talking down anybody's work. I mean, art is subjective and everyone is doing well. When it comes to photography and hair, maybe generally, the kind of photography that is obtainable here is the type wherein people are looking forward to altercating people's nature.
Yeah.
You see, a fair person walks into, or a dark person walks into the studio, and they're editing the person to the point that the person becomes fair.
Yeah.
And then someone with a distorted skin comes into the studio, maybe with freckles and all that, goes back looking all glossy. For me, that's not what photography should be. It's meant to enhance you as a person, but also supposed to tell your story. So you're coming in like with your freckles, with your skin color. I'm not supposed to touch any of those.
Yeah.
I'm just supposed to take pictures, tell your story, and send it out there. But
Yeah.
when you're like trying to distort those things that make me, such that if someone sees my pictures online and then sees me in person, they cannot exactly reconcile the two of them.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what photography is about. So he was the kind of person that was doing my kind of photography photography I wanted to do. So that's why I went to him. So if you like see most of my works and then you see what he does, you will like see some level of similarities because the person that teaches you actually matters. So his work kind of filters into what I do. Although he's better, is up there. I mean, I'm just trying to, come up. So first thing was the person I learned from, knowing the kind of thing I wanted. And I identified the person who was doing what I really wanted to do, and I went to learn from him. And then secondly, it was a case of I actually did have a lot of support when it comes to family. My first camera was bought by my dad. And it was like a birthday gift. And back then, cameras were not as expensive as they are now. But then if you compare that camera now, I think they're selling that camera for about $750K now. So support there was there from my dad, from my parents, and also people, my friends around. And also I wasn't really about whether this was a male-dominated industry. It was, I'm coming here to do photography. Whether it is dominated by men or not, I don't care. Because you're not doing what I want. I have where I want to go to. So I should focus on where I want to go to and do what I want to do. Although I'm not going to, be oblivious to the fact that it's a male-dominated industry. And of course, there are disadvantages that females coming in would likely face. Wherein they look at you and they're already feeling like, what are you doing here? Can you withstand the stress? Can you, are you even knowledgeable enough to do this? You get. So I came in. I remember one time someone who was toasting me back then, and I told him I wanted to go into photography. I told me, can photography pay the bills? And I kept quiet because I feel like first thing first, support is supposed to be there. Register your support for me, and then I just had to ditch him. And then I remember coming back during the elections. I think like when the elections were rounding up, and then he called me and said, "Oh, I never knew you had so much stamina and strength." Do you get? So again, he kind of looked down on me as a woman. That I wasn't gonna be able to withstand whatever issues.
Running around during the campaign, taking the pictures.
No, not even like running around taking the campaign. Like what photography from your equipment, your cameras are heavy. You can't carry 70-200. Today I was taking pictures in church and my back hurts. Right? So it's a lot. It takes both mental, physical, and other, it takes me a lot from you. So that's it.
So I'm going to go back. Before I come back to you, I'm going to speak with Javi a bit. So Javi's talking about Lenspire. A lot of women want to come into photography. They see people do these things. We have someone taking over the industry currently, and she's inspiring a whole lot of, ladies out there. Pink, she's doing a whole lot of amazing stuff. Shot a lot of videos for secular artists and also gospel artists. And you came up with Lenspire. What inspired you to come up with this?
Okay, so I actually found out that some women are actually fading into a background that there's no spotlight at all. So I had to create this as a loudspeaker for them. I mean, there's lack of respect, confidence, and opportunities for the women, which is not actually okay and complete. So I believe that these women, they actually have this specialty that they bring to any space they are into. And they just have this source they have to add in everything in life. So that's why I just decided to come up with something like this.
Okay,
cheer them up,
Okay, you said something about, male-dominated industry and said something about confidence. There's a lady currently doing a whole lot of stuff. There's a time in the secular world, music industry, TJ Murray, who was like the lead guy doing amazing stuff. At some point, he started charging 100 million naira to shoot a video. So he had issues with his health and had to take a break. So Pink came in and she's doing, if you're in MTV base, if you're in Sound City, you're seeing every video from there. It's from Shot by Pink. So now say something about confidence. There are ladies out there who are struggling with confidence. They don't know how to position themselves. But for you, that wasn't a problem at first because you had people who told you, you can't do this. Can you take up with the load of this? But you just said, I can do this. And at first, you knew what you wanted, which was sorted out at first with you. And then the confidence level, there are people struggling with that. What would you have to say about confidence? And how do people find inspiration in the place where they know, this is what I want to do this? Then the confidence, how do you clamp it down?
Okay, so I think confidence starts right from where you're from, your family. So if you're from a family where your parents didn't exactly do a good job, or maybe they thought they did a good job, but they didn't exactly do a good job with helping with your self-esteem and encouraging you to do what you want to do and all of that. I think that's like the foundation. So if the foundation was bad, you would really have a tough time, but at the same time, I wouldn't even say that I am from a totally okay family regards that. I mean, African parents have a way of demoralizing you to an extent, but then you would always have to, for yourself, know what you want. And even when you don't know what you want, try to, if I have to borrow the words of Harvest, break the bias. Right? You would have to come out of it. Like, it's going to be hard, especially if you're coming from a family that, everyone is abusive, nobody's really encouraging you and all of that. But then again, that's what really help is when you step out of family, the next source of confidence would be your friends. What kind of people do you have around you, right? And maybe at school, in church, what's your pastor saying, or for religious people, the people you surround yourself literally with, what are they saying? Even you yourself, what books are you listening to? What news are you listening to on social media? Who are you looking up to? So for me, I looked at people like this lady, the lady that shot this bread seller one time. I forgot her name. She's a photographer and a gospel artist.
Okay, yeah.
Really popular.
The name is very popular.
It's very popular.
She's a gospel artist and also a photographer.
That's
the name.
Exactly. And when you look at her, basically, I think she's more like the only big female photographer out there at that time.
Yeah.
I think even after till now, I think she's still
leading.
One of the biggest. Like when you're talking of female photographers, I can't remember any other person I can mention right now. Do you get? So if you looking up to such people, looking at their work. Oh yeah, Tolani Ani is also one person you should look up to. So even when I started out, I remember Monami he was trying to teach me composition. And then he told me sleep on Tolani Ani's page. And so surround yourself with people, resources, things that project the kind of things you would want to look out for. And also, it's cliche, but you have to believe in yourself. Actually, you would, because no one else would.
So at some point, did you ever feel like let me just keep this and try something else? Because at some point, I started off with photography. Started off with doing photography. Then when I got into school, I found out that I had to put more color grading, composition, learning all the stuff that I wanted to learn. And I was like, okay, I'm actually doing this, but I want to do other things that would, I can actually diversify. At times people feel that way. And I had to go learn audio editing. I had to learn voice acting. And coming back to photography became something that I found out that the passion left a long time ago. So at some point, did you feel like just leaving it at some point and just taking your time into something else?
When did I start that I feel like leaving? Anyway, so I think currently I'm in that place. I get bored easily. Well, basically for me, I got to realize I'm the kind of person that loves to do stuff just because I can. Like, I know that if I want to go into video editing now, not because I probably would love video editing, but because just so I can. Because I know that I can if I want to. You get, like, okay, let me just try. I know I can do it, but let me just try and do it. Then I dump it. But photography for me actually is an escape route for me. Feels like I always tell people it's a therapy session.
Yeah, for you.
So most times when I'm feeling overwhelmed, I just go out, take random pictures.
Just
and
come
I
back
feel
in.
and I feel better.
Yeah.
But currently I'm in that place because should I say I'm bored? No, I'm not bored, but where I get to want to find something
something different to do.
Something different to do.
Yeah.
Majorly because photography is very capital intensive.
Yeah.
Check prices of cameras now. They are high over the roof, right? So you need to find something else that will help finance your passion.
Yeah.
So my passion in this case for now is photography.
Yeah.
But I need to find something else that would, definitely like finance my passion, which is photography. So probably looking at, recently going to Web3, although I'm deceiving myself there, but at least I'm also learning.
Yeah.
Right. And basically something to just keep me busy, because not every time you would have projects you're working on.
Yes.
It's not every time you have clients. It's not every time you would. In fact, I think I even shield myself from having clients.
Too much.
Yeah. Or even at all. Yeah, because I prioritize rest.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'll be able to give off the best if I am not at my best.
Yeah.
So most times I just shut it out. And then people are like, I'm like, are you even in New York? I'm like, okay, thank God people don't even know I'm around. So people don't know when I'm around, where I'm not around. So it's fine that way. But again, please don't take it. It's not a piece of advice. But anyway, so that's it. So what was your question again? I think I lost my train of thought.
I talked about, how...
Okay, moving to stuff. So right now, into tech again, currently learning UI UX.
Yeah. Amazing. Let's talk about the campaign period. Most of your pictures were trending. People took your pictures they came to your page. I think at some point I went to your page on Twitter and I was looking for a picture. There's a picture that was trending. Peter B was in a car. The rooftop was open.
Yeah.
There was a boy trying to embrace the vehicle. And the picture trended for days. And it was all over Twitter that day. And how did you handle the accolades? Because people saw you had your name on it, How did you handle the accolades? Because people do things and people tell them you're doing amazingly well. At some point, do you feel like, you could just tilt a bit and try this? How did you handle the accolades that you didn't get into your head?
Okay, so basically, that period is a very tricky period for me because I remember starting out in the campaigns and people looking at, there's a way people look down on photographers.
Yeah.
A whole lot. So they are starting out like, who is this girl? Who is this small girl? And then but maybe I still have a baby face. Then I had this afro. I was on low cut. So I pretty much made me look like a secondary school student. So they're like, who is this person? Who is this person? And then, but when they realized how much of an effect the pictures I was taking had on Peter, I would say if Peter B was to be declared president, I would
the
say
official photographer.
Not even that was a list of my aspirations.
Yeah.
If you were to be a president tomorrow, I would say I contributed a good chunk to his success as a president, because the pictures there, the visuals really helped.
Yeah.
Right. But so I remember the head of media, Mr. Dion Onifade, came to me one morning. We were in Oriental Hotel, and we were in a popular hotel in Lagos.
Transcorp?
Not Transcorp, it was in Lagos. And it's just the hotel is just mainly you get into the airport. It's just there.
Okay, that's the airport at Ikeja.
Yeah, at Ikeja.
Okay, yeah. Hotel, yeah.
And we were having breakfast that morning, and he just came to me and said, everybody's asking of you, who are you? Who is this person? And I want to advise you, don't let it get into your head. Don't let it, it's looking like you'll be having this celebrity kind of life.
Yeah.
Don't let it affect you. I mean, I'd already advised myself. I told myself, I know how scrutinized these people are.
Yeah.
People who are in the media, how their lives could be. And I don't think I ever wanted
to be like that.
Even till tomorrow, for my life to be under scrutiny, or what is Esther doing, what's Esther not doing? Esther drank water today, Esther did not drink water. I've been wearing these clothes since church. I've not gone home. Oh, Esther is wearing one clothes. I didn't want that. I seriously, I hate scrutiny. So I already told myself, Esther, you're not going to allow this thing get into your head. You're not going to allow it affect the trajectory of your life. And you're not going to allow it, determine the direction of your life. If you notice, I had that picture pinned on my Twitter profile for a while. I just went and unpinned it and put on something else because I at a point, I have to, it's past glory. Yeah, some people wouldn't say it that way, but intentionally I have to say it that way. It's past glory. It's happened. If 2027 comes and our photographer is there, what happens to me? Do you get? So for me, it's past glory, regardless of how well. I know if I post that picture now, I'm still gonna make numbers. But I don't think I want my life to be around that. I love it that it's one of the major work of arts that I have. But again, I just want it to be one off, not the only one. Right. So that's it. Shut out the noise.
So let's talk about this. Should be the last question for you. Let's talk about this. There are women out there. There are young ladies out there leaving secondary school and university, and most of them, you just look around. You said something about leaving photography and you're trying to venture into Web3, and it's something you're doing along the line. You might not figure it out immediately, but you learn as you go further. So now the women out there, they just feel like revolves around just waking up in the morning, going on Facebook, posting random stuffs, and they don't have a skill to fall back to. Probably there's a family they can fall back to that, they have what it takes to respond to them. But at the end of the day, there's nothing tangible they can hold and say, this is what I have. Is there anything you have to say to these people?
Well, if I could wake up and be posting on Facebook, I think I'll be making millions from Mark Zuckerberg, right?
Facebook doesn't. Exactly. The monetization on there is bad. It's poor.
It's not bad. It's not bad. Please don't misinform people. I don't think it's bad.
I'm actually monetized.
You are, but just maybe you should just work on what you're doing. Because if you're saying the monetization on Facebook is bad, come to Twitter. Some months you could post with your blue tick and you get $0 from Elon Musk. But if you're consistent on Facebook and you get your stuff right, you at least get some bucks, right? I know I have a friend who been posting for like 3 months and she just got paid by Elon Musk. Ask me how much?
How much?
$10.
The highest I've gotten with 157,000 followers, the highest I've ever gotten was $30.
Beautiful. People are experiencing worse on Twitter. So as I was saying, well, again, I believe this is not the age to be idle. Actually, exactly. And it's okay if you've not figured it out. If you've not figured it out yet. But at the same time, one thing I would always tell people is learn. You never can tell which of the things you're learning or you've learned that will help you tomorrow. Like you said, going to Web3, I'm learning. I'm a novice there for now. Even as a photographer, I still see myself as a baby photographer. There's a guy that's 20 years old. I'm way older than him. But I look at him and I look at his pictures and I'm like, how did this person do this? And I try to go back to my editing apps to try to recreate what he has done. So the thing is, continue learning, actually. For me, educate yourself formally, informally, online, offline. Just do something. And in this age wherein content creation is bringing in money, well, instead of subscribing your phone, buying data, and then just posting stuff, monetize the time you are there, right? And I mean, like Facebook, TikTok. I know people are making a lot of money on TikTok.
Live on TikTok,
So that's it. If you're a social media person, I think you should monetize your time there. I remember one time when I used to do both. How I started doing both was, so I used to drive. So one day I spent about 100K on maintenance. So I asked myself, why am I spending 100K on maintenance and this guy's not bringing back money? The very next day I went to Bolt office at Falling and I registered for Bolt. So what I'm saying is, whatever thing you're saying you're spending money on that is not bringing you money, either you trash it either you trash it or try to see how
Yeah.
it can bring you back.
Return on investment.
Do you get?
Yeah.
So first off, it's okay, like I would say, it's okay if you've not figured it out. And talk to people. A lot of people have terrible counseling. They're not properly counseled. They're not the one they are doing in secondary school, actually. Honestly, if they had counseled me properly, I probably would have been a science student.
Yeah.
Because I feel science students are at a very huge advantage. Check. Akwa Ibom State's scholarship for people schooling abroad. It's for people doing STEM.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you get? Fully funded scholarship.
Scholarships, yeah.
It's for people doing STEM. If you go to the UK now, the jobs that are in much demand, they're in health.
Yeah.
Mental health, medical doctors, nurses, radiographers, all of that. Photographer.
Yeah.
Have you heard? Although, photographers charge a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, up there, but when we are talking about people like, okay, go into tech now. Computer science students, coding, all those things. It's now that art students are now going into UI, UX, copywriting, Web3 writing, all of that. Do you get? But then where is the box?
Not coming from.
Do you get? So I'm just saying, have proper counseling, right? And surround yourself basically with people who actually maybe also want to be successful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful even when you have not figured it out yet, but to have a longing
to figure it out
and to be successful. By that way, you won't be idle. You'll be trying I know some women that they are bakers. They are baking, they are selling jewelry, selling perfume.
Yeah.
That's fueled by, the desire to be successful.
Works. Yeah.
Do you get? So that's it. If you allow man to be the one deciding what to do, you see Pepe, so yeah, that's it.
So the lesson here is you have to be around people who would give you the right counseling, then try to do multiple things. You don't know which one will work out, so just keep your head down and learn. So we're going to talk about, how you got into photography itself. You talked about Lenspire, how you got started, the goal behind Lenspire, which is to inspire female photographers who are trying to come into the industry. Now let's talk about how you started photography. Because for me, the reason why I started photography for me was because I was hungry. I actually know that I had passion for it. Mm-hmm. I saw a couple of pictures on Instagram and, I wanted to, shoot pictures like Amazing Clef, and the passion was there. But along the line, why I started was because I was hungry. I won't lie to you. I started photography because I was hungry. And I had to leave what I was doing before photography to do something else because I was still hungry. So why did you start photography?
Wow. Okay, so it started when I was in SS1.
Yeah.
So my parents gave me the chance to be in the arts department. Like, science, I need my children to do science and all of that. So I was like, okay, since they won't allow me to do science, like arts, let me find something that's being joined with arts. Okay, so I did science, I finished everything. I used to draw, but now I don't draw anymore.
Yeah.
Just like Esther said, the confidence starts from where you come from.
Yeah.
So I decided to choose photography. And I loved people, like all these men. I love the way they snap pictures and then the way they did their stuff. I was like, I think I'll be fit in this, around that. But then I don't want to shoot like them. I don't know. I'm not trying to boast myself, but my pictures don't really look like
the ones we see around.
Yeah, what we see around. I just want my pictures to be looking different. I mean, I don't want the Nigerian kind of photography. So that's what actually made me think
to do photography.
About photography. Yes.
Okay. Now about family, because at some point you have people talking down on things you do. I remember when I started telling my mom I wanted to be a music journalist. I want to talk about music and radio. I want to write about music. I want to write about films. And she asked me one question. You actually came into this world just to write and talk about films? Like, it was a question that I didn't answer then. Did you come into this world to just watch music videos and talk about them? Is that the only thing you want to do with your life? Because for her, she saw a lawyer. She saw things I wasn't seeing. I didn't buy them. So at first, when you started, did anyone at first talk down on the things you were trying to do?
Yes, they did. My dad was not in support.
Yeah?
My mom was like, why do you like men stuffs?
Yeah?
And I was like, Mom, this is what I want to do. So I had this determination that you support me or not,
I will do this.
I'll do it. So it got to a point that I wanted to quit when I started. But I just realized that since it's like a male-dominated industry, if I quit, I'll let the industry win.
Yeah.
Because I'm a female.
Yeah.
So if I quit, I'll prove them right. So it was not an option for me. It was not an option for me. So I decided to just continue. But I've faced a lot, like I've seen a lot. But then I have this conviction that one day it's going to speak for me.
It's going to pick for you.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about the seminar itself, because this session is like, let's say, the road to something big.
Yes.
So let's talk about the seminar itself. How's it going to be? How's it going to be?
It's going to be about growth. It's going to be about workshop. We're going to walk.
Yeah.
Yes, we're going
teach
to
composition, color grading,
angles,
and the rest of it.
Color grading. I mean, the way you snap and all of that.
Now, people are itching to ask questions. Yeah. They want to know how much you've made from a particular thing. And, because before people want to venture into things, before I ventured into a particular industry, the first thing I did, I went around asking most of the OEPs I knew, the radio presenters that were close to me. I asked them questions like, is really actually worth it? Because people were telling me, you won't make money as a radio presenter, you won't make money. There's no money in radio, there's no money in the industry. Now, people are itching to ask. When I speak to people who are upcomers in voice acting and voiceovers, the first thing they ask me is, Jindy, is there money? What's the highest you've made as a voiceover artist? Now, the question is, what's the highest you've made as a photographer? And is the industry actually worth the stress?
I'm someone that stress is more like a medicine for me.
Yeah?
So I don't mind the stress. I mean, I just want to be out there.
Just want to put yourself out there.
Yes, I don't mind the stress. So when people say it seems very stressful, to me it's more like something like it's a challenge, yes. So I want it to add to my growth.
Yeah.
So I think the highest I've made so far within 1 year.
Yeah.
It's 200,000.
200,000, yeah.
And there's money in it.
There's money in it.
There's money. Once you know what you do and you're confident in everything that you do, and then the way you do your thing, the way you shoot, the way you just make your thing look special, yes, it's going to bring money for you.
Now, another thing here is, when you started, because every industry has a stereotype that's being passed down, mostly being done by men to the women coming into the industry. Say, can you actually do this? It's media actually. Can you stay for long? Do you have what it takes to stay here? So what are the stereotypes? What are the things you faced? Because as a lady, you shouldn't be doing certain things here. You shouldn't be doing this. Did you face some of the stereotypes? Did you face them?
Yes, I did. Financial struggles.
Yeah?
I did. I mean, I was not getting support from my parents. So at that time, I was like up and down, looking for money. Like if I'm frustrated, you know. So I was just everywhere, just looking for money to just push it. My sister was just this source of medicine for me. She was always like, do it. They will see you. Do it. They will see you. So that was what actually kept me for the past 4 years.
Yeah.
Like, just now I'm just holding, do it. They will see you.
So Halves Gallery, about Halves Gallery, let's talk about your brand, Halves Gallery. Now, about Halves Gallery, aside from weddings, because I've seen your wedding pictures, I've seen your baby shower shoot, I've seen a whole lot of things. Aside from that, are you aspiring for more? Because you're talking about Lenspire here. So are you actually aspiring for more?
Yes, I am.
Just walk us in.
Wedding is not my stuff.
Yeah?
I wanted to try.
And you tried and it worked?
Event is not my stuff.
Yeah?
I wanted to try. Okay, let's say event. I wanted it for money.
Yeah?
Yes. But the main thing I do is fashion and editorial. I just like the way people dress. Dressing has its own message it gives. Yeah? So I just like fashion and editorial. I mean, portrait might just be there. Weddings might not be there. Everybody's doing weddings. So, but I'm not interested in that. But if you see fashion, even if it's a collaboration, if you see fashion, like collaborating with fashion brands, fashion, like everything fashion, I'll be interested very much. I can put my mind, everything, my ideas. I might even turn to be the creative director.
Yeah.
So anything fashion, I'm interested. But if you bring wedding to myself, I'll be like, will I be able to do it? Because it's not my thing.
So talking about fashion, we have dreams. We see ourselves in bigger places. So if any fashion brand should come now, let me just ask you, which of the fashion brand do you feel like if they should come now, you can work with them? There's a whole lot of them. So you have to pick well.
There are lots. But before now, I actually want to pick it out.
Yeah?
I've reached out to plenty, like a lot of fashion brands, but they have this way of reducing me.
Yeah?
I mean, I'll show them my portfolio and then they'll ignore you. They will not say anything, but I just let it go. Because there'll be a time that they will come to you and be like, I now need you. Yes.
Come work for us.
So sometimes when I want to, my sister will like, what's wrong? Why are they declining? I will like, probably because I don't have enough works to show to them.
Yeah.
Yes, probably I don't have enough fashion works to show to them. So I think let me go back and work on them.
Yeah.
So,
but if you want to choose now, if you've been a place to choose, make your pick. Which of the fashion brand would you love to work with?
I don't think I can choose. Yes, I think I can choose.
Okay, let's round it up here. Now, if you're supposed to, talk to ladies your age, people coming up, people just trying to figure it out for themselves, away from photography itself, what would be one thing you'd tell them? Just one thing you'd tell them, a word of encouragement or something like a life lesson.
Okay.
Just one word you would tell them.
Okay, people carry fear on their head. Fear that it's too late to start something.
Yeah.
But I would say, don't allow fear to be on the driver's seat.
Take the reins yourself. Be in control.
It will fade if it's not on the driver's seat. Be on the driver's seat and let it be on the passenger seat.
Yeah.
It will fade. So once you don't stay stagnant.
You're doing something.
Yes, you're doing something. It's motion. You can't just stay in one place. You have to move. Once you move, fear will run. So that's what I can say to them. Like, don't fear. Just keep doing it. Change the way you do things. Just have a zigzag.
Yeah.
Like
confuse them.
Yeah, confuse people. Just try to do something. So that's what.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we rounded up. This was the Lenspire's live podcast station. The road to something very big. There's a seminar coming up, and it's proudly brought to you. It will be proudly brought to you by the Halves Gallery. She's gonna do a whole lot of amazing stuff for you guys. You wanna do photography as a lady, and you don't know where to get started. I'm gonna point to her. She has what it takes to get started. Just ask her all the questions. If you want to be in the seminar, is there anything it would take to be in the seminar? Would you have to pay to be part of what you're building?
The information will be let out later.
Okay, later.
Yes, yeah.
So keep your eyes on our pages. What do you follow you on Instagram? How do we follow you on Instagram? On Facebook?
Halves Gallery on Instagram, Halves Gallery on Twitter, and Harvest Daniels on Facebook. Yeah.
So you heard from her. So do well to take the actions and, to be well with your soul. So my name is Daniel, sir, and the second session will be coming up pretty soon. So just do well to stick around and digest this, take your pen and your paper, write down the lessons you learned, and you're going to have an amazing, amazing outcome from this. Stay blessed. We love you.